Have you ever applied for a job, done everything right, and then just sat there refreshing your email for 2 weeks straight, waiting for anybody to get back to you? The problem is you're applying to the wrong kind of company. And here's something wild. Recent data on the gig and freelance economy shows over 76 million Americans are now doing some form of freelance or gig work, and that number keeps climbing every single year. That means there's an entire category of work out there that isn't waiting on a hiring manager to read your resume. A regular company usually takes 3 to 6 weeks to hire somebody because a person has to review your resume, run a background check, and set up payroll. These platforms skip most of that. Software does the matching instead of a recruiter. You come on as an independent contractor instead of a traditional employee, and they only pay you once you actually complete a task. So there's less risk on their end and a lot less waiting on yours. And today I'm showing you 5 of them. Little to no formal interview process, a lot less waiting around, and a lot less getting ghosted. In a lot of cases, you apply and start working the same day. Now, quick disclaimer, these pay numbers are recent averages that I pull from various sources. They are not guarantees, and they'll shift by location, experience, and of course, the effort you put in. Watching this video does not guarantee you a job or a salary, and you won't qualify for every single role here, and that's normal. So please confirm current openings, salary, experience level directly with each company before you apply. And if you're job hunting right now, hit that like button so I know to keep making more videos like this one. All right, let's get into it. First up is delivery driver through platforms like DoorDash and Uber Eats. You already know the general idea, but here's what most people don't realize about why these platforms hire so fast. Local delivery demand swings hard. Every single day, multiple times a day. Breakfast rush, lunch rush, dinner rush. Platforms need a constant pool of active drivers ready to go. And if they don't have enough, orders get delayed and customers are not happy. So instead of a slow hiring process, they built the whole system around getting you onboarded fast. And in some cases, the same day. And I'll put up some of the current pay averages on the screen for you now, but please keep in mind, gig pay rates are going to vary greatly depending on where you are located. And of course, there are absolutely no guarantees. Now, the skills you'll need here are solid time management, comfortable using GPS and navigation apps, and the ability to stay pleasant with customers even when things go sideways. You'll need a valid driver's license, a reliable vehicle. Usually it has to be within a certain year and it can't have any major damage or crashes. And of course, you have to have a clean driving record. And I'll give this one a 9 out of 10 for how quickly you can actually get started because the application and background check process is built for speed. For long-term earning potential, I'd put it closer to a 5 since your income is tied directly to hours logged and local demand. So think of this as more of a side hustle to your regular gig. Now, to get started, you download the app, complete the identity and background check, and once you are approved, you can usually start claiming deliveries right away, although that's going to vary depending on who you are working with. And a quick heads up, I've also put together a free list of the top 100 companies hiring for online jobs. So if you haven't downloaded that list yet, I'll put it below in the description for you. Now, if driving isn't your thing, the next one is for people who'd rather work with their hands. Job number 2 is day laborer through platforms like People Ready. This one covers general labor work, things like construction sites, even setup and tear down, and industrial cleanup crews. And the reason this category hires so fast is pretty simple. Construction companies and event managers get hit with sudden staffing shortages, whether that's a last-minute call-out or a project that suddenly needs more hands. Instead of running their own emergency hiring process, they hand that off directly to labor apps that already have a good pool of ready workers. And I'll put up some of the current pay data on the screen for you now. And remember, this is going to vary greatly depending on your location. Now, skills needed are physical stamina for outdoor and manual labor, comfortable using hand tools safely, and a genuine ability to follow safety protocols on a job site, because that part is the most important. And you need to be at least 18 and in some cases even 21 or older, depending on the job site. And you may need basic safety gear like steel-toed boots or a high visibility vest. I'll give this one a 9 out of 10 for ease of getting started, since most of these platforms will get you working within a day or two of signing up. Earning potential, I give it a 4 out of 10, mainly because the pay ceiling on general labor work is limited without moving into a specialized trade. Getting started just means signing up on the platform, passing a basic screening, and picking up available shifts near you. Keep in mind, this is not a guarantee that you will get this position, so make sure to do your research before applying. And speaking of leveling up from entry-level repetitive gig tasks into something with more room to grow, I want to tell you about the online training and certification program that I recommend to all of my subscribers. It's called Course Careers, and they offer free intro courses into fields like IT help desk, tech sales, and data analytics, which is a great way to see which one is a right fit for you before you go into their full certification courses. They also help with resume writing, interview prep, and job placement support. Of course, nothing is guaranteed, but the great thing is you don't need experience or a degree to take these certifications. I'll drop a link below in the description and in the pinned comments for you. And speaking of picking up shifts, the next job on this list is one people book directly, and it can pay a lot more per hour than you'd expect. Job number 3 is move helper and handyman work through platforms like TaskRabbit. This one is bigger than most people realize. Regular people like me, and I've hired TaskRabbit on many occasions, need urgent help all the time. Moving apartments, assembling furniture, fixing something that broke at the worst possible moment. And they're often willing to pay a premium to get someone reliable and fast instead of waiting around for a scheduled appointment. And I'll put up some of the pay averages on the screen for you now, but I recommend you go directly to the site to see what these taskers are charging so you can get an idea. And the skills that actually move the needle here are proficiency with power tools, some carpentry or basic mechanical know-how, spatial awareness for things like furniture assembly, and clear communication with clients about what they need. Now, of course, you'll want your own basic toolkit and the physical ability to lift heavier items, and you'll need to pass an identity and background check through their platform. For ease of getting started, I rate this a 7 out of 10, since setting up a profile and getting approved is usually pretty quick. But building a steady stream of bookings does take time. Earning potential is where this one shines. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 because specialized taskers with strong reviews can command noticeably higher rates than general labor work. To get started, you build a profile, list the specific services you're comfortable offering, and start accepting tasks in your area as they come in. Now, the next one on the list is one a lot of restaurants and hotels are scrambling to fill. Number 4 is retail and hospitality gig work through platforms like Instawork and ShiftSmart. Think restaurants, hotels, and retail stores that suddenly need extra hands. And here's why this category moves so fast. These businesses get hit with understaffing that they can't predict. A big event books last minute, a weekend gets busier than expected, or the holiday season hits harder than they planned for. And they don't have the time to run a traditional hiring process, so they lean on these platforms to fill shifts within hours, not weeks. And I'll put up some of the pay averages on the screen for you now. But again, please do your research because this is going to vary greatly depending on the industry and your location. And the skills that matter most are the ability to move fast in high-pressure hospitality environment, comfortable handling a register, and for some roles, basic crowd management or retail merchandising know-how. Also, front-of-the-house roles usually expect a professional appearance, and you'll need a smartphone to claim shifts along with quick app-based verification. I'd rate this a 9 out of 10 for getting started, since a lot of these platforms will get you onto a shift within your first day or two of signing up. Earning potential, I put it at around 6 out of 10, since specialized roles like bartending or event setup pay noticeably better than general front-of-the-house shifts. And getting started means creating a profile, completing the app's verification, and claiming open shifts as they get posted near you. And one last mention, if you haven't checked out Course Careers yet, they also have free courses in IT and cybersecurity, which are fields with the same kind kind of steady demand we've been talking about in this video. I'll put a link below in the description and in the pinned comment. Now, this one might be the most consistent of all of them, and it's running around the clock every single day of the year. Job number 5 is on-demand warehouse associate through platforms like Amazon Flex and local staffing agencies. This one runs on a scale most people don't think about. E-commerce fulfillment operates around the clock every day of the year. To keep up with fast shipping promises, these networks rely on huge structural systems built to bring in seasonal and on-demand workers instantly through an app, not a traditional application process. And I'll put up some of the recent pay ranges on the screen for you now. Of course, always do your research, as this is going to change greatly depending on your location. Now, the skills you'll need are accuracy with inventory tracking and sorting, also the ability to work at a consistent pace, and being comfortable operating basic warehouse equipment like a pallet jack. You'll need to pass a standard background and drug screening through the app, be able to stand for long shifts, and lift up to 50 pounds. I'll give this one an 8 out of 10 for getting started, since the onboarding through these apps tends to move fast once you clear the screening. For earning potential, I give it a 5 out of 10, since pay is tied closely to shift timing and location, and there's a natural ceiling without moving into a supervisory role. To get started, you need to download the app and complete the background check. Then, once you're cleared, and if you get the position, you can start claiming available shifts in your area. Here's the thing about all of these. They only solve the short-term problem. In some cases, they get you working fast, but most of them still cap out at a certain point. So if you were wondering what it looks like on the other side, once you've got some stability and you're ready for something with an actual ceiling on how far it can go, that's a different conversation entirely. And it turns out there's a whole set of remote positions right now where companies generally cannot find enough people to fill them, which sounds like bad news for those companies, but it's really good news for you. And I'm breaking down 9 of them, why they're struggling to hire, and exactly what that means for you. So make sure you check out my next video up here, 9 remote jobs that can't find anyone, and why that's good news for you. Thank you so much for watching. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.